On June 2nd, leaders from 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines visited the LA Rams at their practice facility in Thousand Oaks, California, to observe a full organized team activity, or OTA. During this visit, members of 2-4 observed all aspects of the OTA, to include team meetings, film study, practices on the field, workouts, and even had the opportunity to eat breakfast and lunch with the players, coaches, and staff. The goal of the visit was to establish a relationship with the team in order to facilitate an exchange of TTPs. We wanted to see how our professional football organization teaches, coaches, trains, and mentors their elite athletes and draw out innovative ways that we can apply those TTPs to train our elite warriors in the most effective way possible. Here are some thoughts from Marines who attended the OTA.
During the practice, we observed multiple team meetings, reviewed schedules, toured facilities, and watched on the field OTA practice. The opportunity allowed Marine leaders with our unit to draw parallels between professional sports and military life while building our mental model of how we can bring the daily, structured life of professional athletes back to our unit. Throughout the day, the most impressive aspect was watching how efficient the OTA was. Meetings started on time and equally ended on time. Players were prepared for what the meeting was going to entail so they could offer valued feedback, vice just listening to the coach talk. And the physical practice time was structured with hardly no time wasted as football players transitioned between drills. It's really not all that different from the Marine Corps' idea of the systems approach to training, but it seemed like the players and coaches were a little more vested in their task, and they knew exactly where to be and what was coming before it happened. As the Marine Corps moves forward and rigorously increases our experimentation, we must dedicate time and effort to figuring out how we can become more efficient in our training and daily garrison life. Professional sports teams have a model that works, and we have a lot to learn from the way that they do business. I directly equate our efficiency with increasing our lethality. And as you all know, lethality directly equates to winning our nation's battles as we move forward in the 21st century.
During the time spent with the LA Rams, I noticed very important skills or ways we can improve our overall time management as well as an effective end result of our training exercises. I believe the key to improving our ability to train our Marines efficiently is to use tactical film as a means of debriefing training events. The team used short intervals of various drills and adhered to strict timelines to make better use of their training day without degrading productivity. There was almost instant feedback available to the coaching staff through a media team working to create film for the coaches to debrief off. The key to success for us initially, I believe, would be to begin implementing film debriefs and strict timelines at the platoon level to work out any hang-ups we would encounter.
What I liked about the Rams practice was all the film analysis, the briefing, the discussions that they were having prior to actually hitting the field and doing their training. I think that minimized a lot of time being wasted out in the field, allowed the Marines to focus fully on training without any lull, pause in the training. The guys were constantly on the go, and I think that was a good thing. I also liked the constant feedback while the players were practicing out in the field, given by the coach. But however, they did it without stopping practice to make a school circle and talk about the things they were seeing. The players were continuing to run around and practice and run the drills while they were still receiving feedback from their coaches.
Time is a unit's most precious resource as it prepares for war. That unit could be a U.S. military unit, or it could be an elite football team such as the LA Rams. So we are all at parity when it comes to time. The Rams, however's use of film as they prepare their athletes for their next opponents enables coaches to show players what right looks like and what wrong looks like in short order. In other words, the feedback loop is enabled to be shortened using film. How serious were the Rams about this? Those buckets you see coming down from the scissor lifts are actually SD cards of the practice's footage they're pushing into the laboratories to get processed so that both coaches and players can see what they did on the field as soon as they get off the field. Similarly, the NFL and the NCAA restricts the amount of time coaches can spend with their athletes. The efficacy of military training could really benefit from this time restrictive analog. Why? Because we tend to waste a lot of Marines and sailors' times in the Marine Corps because we simply don't have to account for it that often. Specifically, we do not need to pay overtime. All of our Marines and sailors are on salary. So the incentive to get things done in an efficient manner isn't what it is on the field of the LA Rams, for example. On the college side, coaches are only allowed to spend 20 hours a week with their athletes. That averages out to about 4 hours a day where a coach can coach an athlete, which forces them to be more efficient. Salting in and parlaying this best practice, and frankly it's a standard in an elite football team to use time efficiently. That simple example of using time efficiently is something that the Marine Corps could really benefit as it plans and executes training.